In the future, historians are going to look back and say it was last year, 2024, that naturalism collapsed. The winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2004, and he reported the physics formulas we use in the Big Bang Theory start giving answers that are nonsensical. We find total disaster, everything breaks down, and we're stuck. These macromolecules are monster molecules. They're enormous with thousands and thousands of atoms, and they do not form from the simple molecules. Methane, water, carbon dioxide, these simple molecules do not form the necessary components of all living things, DNA, RNA, enzymes, and proteins. You would think if evolution was true, we would have an animal evolving in multiple steps from this bacteria to the first fish, which is in the lower Cambrian rock layer. But there is nothing. I know this is real because I've been there. I know what's in the fossil record. There is nothing in between. And the experts we interviewed also said the same thing. These things just suddenly appear. Stephen Gould writes, the extreme rarity of transitional forms in the fossil record persists as a trade secret of paleontology. The fossil record offered by all the museums, this billion fossils, offers no support for gradual change. According to this fish evolution expert, says there's no intermediates or connections between the first fish, which I showed you that was in the Cambrian, and all these other fish. And according to this scientist who we interviewed, Dr. David Weishampel, who wrote the Bible on dinosaur evolution, the Dinosauria, he said in his interview, and it's on the video, you can watch it, that although we have these 100,000 dinosaurs, not one dinosaur has an ancestor. But we interviewed multiple, not just these two, but multiple bat evolution experts, and they said there are no animals in between the tree shrew and the bat, which again goes against the theory of evolution. You want mutations to get evolution. That doesn't sound like a good idea, by the way. So you want mutations. How could you get mutations? One way is to go to Chernobyl or 3 Mile Island and just lay on the ground next to the radiation, and then you can get mutations. That's one way you get radiation. Another one is to drink a gallon of Roundup, because that causes mutations and cancer. Mutations, just intuitively, we know that mutations cause damage, but mutations, random accidental mutations, are to be how evolution occurs. Your body has 70 trillion cells. So you might get the first mutation in your hand, and then your second mutation could be in your ear. But it's only when you've had about 70 trillion mutations can you get the first mutation in the first correct cell, which is the egg or the sperm. Then it has to be in the right location. Well, in humans, we have 3.5 billion letters of DNA. What is the chance of you getting the mutation next to your first mutation? It's 1 in 3.5 billion. What is the chance of a mutation being in the right cell at the right location? It's 1 over 70 trillion times 1 over 3.5 billion. And that's just the second mutation. So the chance of you getting enough mutations in one reproductive cell, so that's basically impossible. The walking whale expert that we interviewed was Dr. Phil Gingrich. His first walking whale, called Pachycetus, ended up on the cover of Science, which is the official publication for the American Association for the Advancement of Science. When we went to the museum, we realized that this whole thing was made up. This is his diagram, but this is the fossil that was actually found in charcoal gray here. This little fragment on the skull, this little fragment on the lower jaw, and a few teeth. That's all he had. He didn't have flippers. He didn't have the eye on the side of the skull. That's how you get on the cover of Science. And here is the full skeleton that was found in 2001. And everything he said was bull. This is odd, because how could just two men that worked in the same office building, same university, same lab, find all the walking whales when no one else can find them? When we interviewed him, we asked him if we could photograph the original fossils, which are here on the table. It became clear that the real fossils, which are in orange here, did not have the blowhole. And when we asked him about this, see, there's no tip here. And we asked him about it. He said, yeah, I don't really think it has a blowhole. You can watch the interview where he admits that the whale ear is not a whale ear. The blowhole is not a blowhole. And this whole thing was falsely created. And remember, this isn't just one of thousands of good proofs. This is the best proof. We disproved all the ones that were accepted when we were doing this project, and they all collapsed. Why did they put feathers on them? Did they find feathers on Velociraptor? No. Here's a sign from the museum. No fossils of feathers have been found, but they put them on there because they believe that birds evolved from dinosaurs. That is atrocious science. National Geographic published the best evidence for birds evolving from dinosaurs. It was this fossil, Archaeoptera lionensis, and it was a fake. It was a dinosaur tail attached to a bird's body. They told National Geographic scientists who wrote this article, this is a fake. And guess what they did? They published it anyway. And right before publication, after they're told it was a fake, had a press conference. We just found this perfect intermediate between dinosaurs and birds. This talks to the mindset of the evolution scientists. And they discovered a fraud industry in the town where in the province where that was found. The meat-eating dinosaurs, the theropods, which are supposed to have evolved into birds, have lizard-shaped pelvis. The evolution scientists who are promoting human evolution committed 150 frauds. These were not mistakes. These were knowing, misleading, dirty, dark frauds by these evolution scientists. Piltdown man, for 40 years it was off limits. Tumai, off limits. Naledi, off limits. Sediba, Neanderthals, Lucy, Ardipithecus, Orion, and Turkana. You can't believe how many of these fossils are off limits. They would say, oh no, come on down, come see it. But when you show up, they will not let you touch them. But look at these current ape men like this, Homo habilis. This is the best skeleton they have. Well, you could make that into a monkey, ape, or a human, whatever you wanted to decide it was going to be. If that's the best proof and it goes completely against all the evidence, we can't form the universe, we can't form life, we can't form the 7 animal phyla, we can't form the groups within a phyla, the mechanisms of evolution don't work. The 3 best proofs of evolution, walking whales was all made up, flying dinosaurs, you don't have the ancestors to the first bird, and ape men. If this is the best you got with the 150 frauds and 237 overturned ape men, inaccessible fossils, fragmentary fossils, then this theory has collapsed. If you agree that those 9 X's are justified, then evolution just collapsed right in front of us. This information is not going to do anyone any good unless the kids get it. The 6th grade or 7th grade on up should take a 4-semester course with my 4 books and the videos. If you send your kids or grandkids to school and haven't prepped them for these topics, they're going to get creamed, just like I got creamed. I believed in evolution just because of what my professor said. This is imperative that everybody get this started in their schools, in their home schools, church schools, public schools. I beg of you to do that for the kids.